Welcome to a 1v1 on Angoville. That's right, it's Angoville. It will be the very first cast in this playlist, at least, on Angoville that I've done. We've already had a couple games from Star-Crossed Kings on this map, but this is simply going to be an auto-match game. We're going to see LeeJaeDong versus NareYa. I don't know how to pronounce that. Also known as Paradox, of course. Gave Star-Crossed Kings a shot today, in fact. Was not able to defeat OMG Pop, but still a very skilled player, and we're going to see what he has to offer here in this game.
It is now under our control.
Going with 2 conscript opening, making his way across the left side, or right side of Angoville. Meanwhile, tier 1 opening from LeeJaeDong, making Grenadiers into a squad of MG42. So although this is a classic Co2 matchup, it's certainly not a classic Angoville matchup, which is Company of Heroes 1 map. The Relic official stream today took place on this map, I guess. And we learned some fun things about Angoville's history. Apparently it was formed based on a real-world location somewhere in Normandy using Google Earth. Using that as the basis for Angoville. So that's kind of a fun little fact about Angoville that we learned today from Quinn Duffy. But now it, of course, has been ported over to Company of Heroes 2. And we're going to see Osterra versus Soviets. Pio's moving into close range against those conscripts. They're going to get forced to retreat. Conscripts moving up here into the strategic point to take control of that. Conscripts taking control of the entire right side also. Looks like Osterra's not going to make any attempt to take control of that yet. Osterra winning engagements on the left side, but kind of falling behind in territory, map control a little bit. Conscripts are simply going to take control of the victory point over there. Get the strategic point under control next. These conscripts moving up to try and take control of the fuel point over here. Probably going to get pushed away by the MG42. It's going to get set up well before they can get that point captured. And it also does much better damage at very long ranges now. Look at that damage. Which may not seem that impressive, but trust me, that's a lot more damage than it did pre-patch. Pre-patch, they would have barely even taken a scratch. And now that they're suppressed, Grenadiers will be able to keep them suppressed.
Has been cut off. Contact with the enemy infantry. We are taking losses. Our flank is down. Let's roast some fascists.
Flamethrower engaging Grenadiers here on the cutoff. Move into the capture circle to prevent capture. No lucky crits yet, and the flamethrower squad's falling low. There it goes.
Sniper has arrived.
I don't know. Kind of a close engagement, actually. He needs to spread those Grenadiers out. Grenadiers weren't spread out for that engagement, so they get burst down by the flamethrower and forced to retreat. But the flamethrower will also retreat in turn when these 2 squads move up to support. Conscripts pushing away Grenadier squad, trying to wipe it on retreat, but not able to seal the deal. We're moving into green cover behind this truck.
Attempting to capture our territory.
And we will see tier 1 from the Soviet player going with a sniper. Snipers certainly should perform quite well on this map. On the left side it has a very open field. On the right side, of course, engagements are a lot closer, medium range. In some areas also quite open, however. Conscripts moving up into short range on this squad of Grenadiers, and we will see guard motor coordination tactics chosen by NareYa. LeeJaeDong fielding Lightning War German mechanized and mechanized assault. This would be rather strange to see, especially against guard motor coordination. Lightning War and mechanized assault, however, much more likely. Lightning War, especially since G43s are quite nice against the German sniper, if you or the Soviet sniper, if you can flank it, get around behind it with G43s, 1 or 2 squads in its retreat path. Now that it can no longer sprint, should prove to be quite effective. Trying to get this Grenadier squad into close range on that sniper, baiting him out with this Grenadier squad over here. And there he goes, catches him at close range and will immediately force the retreat. That squad needs to retreat as well, however, falling dangerously low. That was an extraordinarily late retreat, but they will round the corner. Looks like they're going to be fine. This squad of Grenadiers moving up to do a lot of damage to that conscript squad, forcing it to retreat in turn, and this conscript squad moving up into short range on these Grenadiers to force yet another retreat from them. Lots of these infantry engagements being turned. Nice rifle grenade. Ooh, I can't believe that one guy survived that. That was a very nicely placed grenade, though. Across the hedge.
Enemy squad has us sighted. We are fighting incoming. The new men have arrived.
Minesweeper play over here on the left side is going. I'm sorry, I'm reading my own chat, and Moobot is making me chuckle. Anyway,
That's the last one.
Minesweeper over here on the left side. Nice play, getting that mine cleaned up. Sniper is moving up to fire on that MG42, but it's gonna be forced away. Gets a little too close, caught in the arc of fire. That MG42 takes quite a bit of damage there. Will be forced off the field. We do have field infirmary research here from the Soviet player, so we'll be able to get that healed up. It's not too much of a setback, other than his sniper being forced off the field for a second time. And the more that happens, the less of a return on investment you're getting. It's only got 8 kills. Here at the 8-minute mark, he could be doing a little bit better with that sniper, especially considering his opponent has not fielded a scout car at all to try and get rid of that sniper. He's doing a good job of managing the threat that sniper poses.
Taking fire. We have been replacement. Mortar team has arrived.
Conscripts over here. That's a late retreat on those minesweepers. That's probably going to get wiped. There they go. Wasn't monitoring the engagement. Minesweeper Pios get wiped. Half-track is in production here from the Tier 2 structure, and the Soviet player has fielded a heavy mortar, but nothing else from his commander yet. Setting that up over here on the right side. Maybe get some lucky hits on... Ooh, that's also a late retreat, but they'll round the corner just in time. Rifle grenade over the hedge, hoping for a lucky hit. And thank you, Kamka, for your very generous donation. Moobot will happily accept your firstborn. I'm sure that Moobot is happy to consume as many infants as possible. Because Moobot is an unfeeling, uncaring, monstrous chat overlord. And he will apply justice to the chat without mercy or feeling. All hail Moobot. Grenadiers moving up the right side, taking control of this fuel, and this squad of Grenadiers is taking control of the strategic point, the LNG right there. The half-track on the field, these Grenadiers do have a forward location from which to reinforce. Not quite as scared of the sniper, not quite as scared of these conscripts. They can probably out-reinforce them here in this engagement. Nice rifle grenade trying to apply a little bleed to his opponent. He has chosen mechanized assault. He's at 6 command points now. He's got the fuel for the Stugi, but he needs a little bit more manpower. He's spending a lot of manpower reinforcing here in this engagement. He should be fine. Sniper's dealt with over here on the left side. Knows that that's not going to pick off a Grenadier at the last second. That machine gun, however, will be forced to retreat. Sniper's up to 11 kills now and will win this engagement for the Soviets on the left, which means that the half-track is being moved to respawn. Prompts a retreat from that Sniper. This two-man Grenadier squad will actually win against those suppressed conscripts. Nice maneuver with the half-track to force a retreat there on the left side, and the engagement for the right looks like it's already been won. Everything being forced completely off the field.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
And
Neutralizing a sector. Replenished.
with this half-track on the field, the half-track just makes such a huge difference. We've seen it over and over again, especially during Star-Crossed Kings. Once that half-track comes out and you have that forward reinforced point, you can get that in conjunction with forward medic station. It is very difficult to push Oster off the field. A sniper in the back trying to pick off these infantry in conjunction with a heavy mortar should hopefully be able to turn things around, but as long as the Oster has enough manpower in the bank to support these engagements, you're not likely to win that manpower war. That bleed is too much on your own end of things to be able to engage cost effectively against this Grenadier LMG half-track strategy. Heavy mortars are dealing a lot of nice damage here, but no wipes. It was intentionally tweaked to make miracle wipes a lot less likely. Seems like that change is having a pretty good effect. Softening this up, but not really finishing it off, making it rather difficult to deal with. Conscripts working on the right side should probably recover that flamethrower. Flamethrower just sitting there on the ground. Not sure he's noticed that yet. Guard rifles get a couple shots on the half-track. Buttoned! Uh-oh! Oh, barely pulls back to safety. It's falling low to small arms fire. One more PTRS shot will destroy it. Guards moving up to try and finish the job. Oh, they're retargeted to these Grenadiers instead. Heavy mortar landing in the area, doesn't get any good shots. Half-track will receive repairs. Those guards should have moved up for one more shot. Just one more PTRS shot. They could have got that thing cleaned up. Flamethrower has been recovered here on the right side. Should be able to utilize that to win this engagement. If he dodges the rifle grenade, which gets cancelled. Cancels the grenade, seeing that the squad is repositioned. Goes for another one, dodges it again. Nice timing on the dodge, by the way, to make sure your opponent actually spends the munitions and it all gets wasted. Very nice handling of that engagement over there. If you move too much, your opponent will just not bother with the rifle grenade and retreat. If you make your opponent believe you've stopped paying attention and get him to fire that rifle grenade and then dodge it as it's in midair, you get the most out of the engagement because you bait him into spending that munitions, even though it really accomplishes nothing. So nice timing there by NareYa during that engagement, but he will eventually be forced to retreat regardless by the MG42 making its way up, suppresses him, forces the retreat, but he does have that flamethrower on the conscript squad. Will be a very useful tool for him later here in the game. Squad moves into some green cover right here. Guards move up to engage. They've got DP machine guns and PTRSs, so they should be pretty good at range against infantry, especially with sniper support. Squad of conscripts making its way up to take control of this fuel. The half-track still in the area for reinforcement. 4 squads of grenadiers here as well, 3 of which have LMGs, so pretty dangerous area for these infantry to be in. Neither of these infantry forces have cover right now. Guards are going to take heavy damage at range as a result. Really need to get behind some cover. Just trying to provide a screen for the sniper for now. He will decapture the fuel. Meanwhile, the MG42 taking control of munitions on the right. Conscripts doing some harassment over here as well. Heavy mortar bombarding in the... Ooh, I think the guards got... No, they did not get wiped. Will retreat, but they dropped their DP, unfortunately. So now this Grenadier squad will have 2 LMGs, making them quite dangerous. Heavy mortars only got 4 kills, which I guess is the intent. Dealing a lot of damage, actually, because it is Vet 1, so it's been dealing a lot of damage, just hasn't killed anything. Needs needs infantry to move in and try and capitalize on the damage that that mortar is doing. Precise shot. Lands quite nicely. That was a pretty good precision strike. I'd say he got his 45 munitions worth out of that. Probably hoping for the squad wipe, though. And he's up to 11 command points and throws the T-34-85 command, or call in on the field. With these 2 T-34s on the field. He's going to have a lot of firepower. Of course, his opponent also going straight for the call-in tank. Has brought a Tiger onto the field. This T-34 already has a destroyed engine from a Panzerfaust right there. And with no combat engineers on the field, he'll just have to utilize self-repair to save that, although he may be hesitant to do so with the Tiger charging him. Self-repair has been activated and he needs that to complete before the Tiger finds it. There it goes. It has completed. T-34 is at full health. Tiger inflicting heavy damage to that conscript squad. It will be forced to retreat. Tiger gets the shot off, though. Conscript squad is wiped. Half-track. T-34 is actually going to move to re-engage here. Catch the half-track out of position. Nice pickup. Destroying that half-track. Moves in, sees a window of opportunity, and capitalizes on it. The half-track left itself a little too vulnerable there. We will note that LeeJaeDong has no AT guns. He's gone this entire game without making a single AT gun, spending all of his manpower just on reinforcements out of that half-track. It is very manpower expensive to do that, but we definitely saw him hold a lot of manpower, or hold a lot of ground as a result. Now that his half-track is dead, he can no longer do that, and without AT guns, he doesn't have a very hard counter to these T-34s, other than the Tiger, which he's going to have to manage very carefully. Those 2 T-34s get a couple lucky shots with the assistance of marked vehicle. The Tiger may find itself in a very dangerous situation. Also, should probably not put all of his forces too close together under heavy mortar fire, because you never know when you're just going to take a really nasty hit. If the squad is already heavily wounded, it very much risks getting wiped, even with the patch changes. There's really no reason for an almost dead squad to survive a heavy mortar shot anyway, so... If that squad dies to a heavy mortar, yeah, clustered infantry formation like this, then it's really nobody's fault but your own. T-34s are making their way across the left side.
We fucked up. That's okay. That's the last one.
Over here on the right side, I think a squad got wiped. Yeah, a squad of Pios just got wiped by a nice heavy mortar hit.
Yes, comrade.
Not sure if he used precision strike or not. I wasn't paying close enough attention. And the sniper, I think, sealed the deal. Or no, sniper didn't seal the deal. Guards sealed the deal. PTRS snipes one of the MG42 crew members. And they're going to be forced to retreat. And I'm not honestly sure if the PTRS is intended to be an anti-infantry solution or not. With the accuracy improvement, I guess that's the intent. Try and make guards even more of a generalist anti-infantry, anti-light vehicle squad. Seems a little strong for it to be sniping infantry models that frequently, but at the same time, I think everyone generally agreed PTRS is needed a buff. I don't know if that's the buff people had in mind, but that's the one they received, so... Kind of an interesting design choice, I guess. Kind of makes sense. It is a rifle. It's not strictly an anti-tank weapon. That squad is pulling back for some engine repairs. Tiger has been fully repaired, moving to engage this T-34s as well. With this one having a damaged engine, we might see the Tiger succeed in taking it out. Over here on the right side, grenade getting fired at that conscript squad, brings it low. I don't think he's monitoring that engagement. Nice play by LeeJaeDong there.
Infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Firing a grenade while the tanks are also being microed
The enemy has taken our supply
to
station.
take out that conscript squad. Tiger going in hard. These two T-34s are falling dangerously low. No hope of a second set anytime soon. Despite being marked, that Tiger's going to go in. It risks taking engine damage here from these conscripts, though. They're not throwing the grenade yet. They want to try and find a way to get behind that Tiger if they can. Medics just got nailed by that Tiger. And wow, is the Tiger really going to disengage here? Is he really going to disengage when he's got his opponent on the ropes? Look at the health on those tanks. He's buttoned by guards from behind,
Forces are attempting to
dealing light damage with their PTRSs actually, taking it down to about a third. And I guess that he just didn't quite feel comfortable with this engagement. I don't know, maybe he does. Looks like he's changing his mind. He's going to go back in, try and seal the deal on one of those tanks. Marked vehicle just ended. The T-34s, however, have received a lot of repairs from self-repair. Not this one. This one's still pretty low. Guards on the rear, applying a little bit more pressure to the AT gun, and a heavy mortar actually decrewed it completely. Nice shot from the heavy mortar, probably with precision strike, I assume.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Over here on the left, Grenadiers are making a play for the fuel. All the map is falling into Axis hands. Nice rifle grenade to clear out that heavy mortar. It's got 14 kills. Vet 2 will be nice to get that cleared off the field. Pretty late retreat there. Not sure if he was monitoring that, trying to get these tanks repaired. He's got a third squad of guards on the field now. LeeJaeDong holds pretty much the entire map.
Be brave, comrades! Man down! Watch out! Grenade!
Tried to fire that rifle grenade a little bit ahead of that squad. Didn't pay off, unfortunately. Flamethrower moving up is doing a lot of damage. 2 crits. Oh, retreat! That PTRS shot just connected. That chunked his health so bad. Fortunately, it looks like he's gonna get away. PTRS does 40 damage every time it actually hits, and infantry models have 80 health, so that's half of a squad member's health if that actually connects, which it did in that engagement. So yeah, that accuracy buff, we're definitely seeing that in effect this game. It really makes a difference, even in infantry engagements. Interesting.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
T-34 has been fully repaired. They're going to move to engage over here on the right side, dealing a lot of damage to those Grenadiers. Tiger receiving repairs over here on the left. We'll try to move to screen, but I think those Grenadiers are probably going to go down. Although a lot of shots are missing somehow. I guess, I don't know, man. I guess they're going to get away. Tiger moves up to engage the T-34s over here on the right with AT gun support. None of the shots from the pack connected, I don't think. Oh no, that T-34 just had a terrible pathing hiccup right there. AT gun shot connects from way behind, and the T-34 goes down. Not too big of a deal. LeeJaeDong is really hurting from manpower. Guards seem to be doing really well with their PTRSs, plus DP machine gun upgrade makes them quite good against these Grenadiers. Ooh, see, there it is, another PTRS snipe, just headshotted that guy. Boom, look at that damage. That accuracy buff, it is seriously, if that engagement just goes in your favor and you get a couple really nice PTRS hits, it really does make a big difference turning those infantry engagements in your favor. That is really something. I would say that guards are now quite an effective long-range infantry squad with the DP machine gun upgrades. If you get some of those PTRS shots to connect, I'd say they're definitely a viable alternative to shocks, especially on a big open map like this. Oh, big heavy mortar hit wipes another Bio squad right there.
We are awaiting orders. Soviet territory reclaimed. One less enemy squad.
Wow.
Secured.
Wow. So many squad wipes everywhere. Guards just got wiped by the Tiger. Heavy mortar just wiped a Pio squad and a pack in rapid succession. He can't afford to reinforce any of these Gren squads. I mean, he's got a lot of firepower right here, but he needs the manpower for that second Tiger because he knows that a second set of T-34s is on the way. He doesn't want to get caught without a second Tiger when those three T-34s charge into his base. So it makes sense, but he just is hurting for manpower so bad. He needs to throw them on the field. Finally, with the second Tiger out, he can get these reinforcements going. It's going to take a little bit of time. Going to try and get some map control back, utilizing heavily wounded squads. Most importantly, he needs to slow the victory point drain. He's already 150 points behind, which is not a good position to be in. But with two Tigers on the field, he definitely has a window of opportunity to inflict huge damage on his opponent. He's going to go in hard and try and take out the one remaining tank here. Doesn't have any repair power, unfortunately, with which to get this thing back to full health, but being Vet 2 is definitely hugely beneficial. I'm surprised he's not just going diving straight into the base and trying to wipe out that tank while it's alone and trying to wipe out the heavy mortar, take out some priority targets while he has this window of opportunity. Will find an opportunity against those guards, though. They're quite clumped. Oh! Barely getting away. Over here on the right side, double LMG Grenadier squad is engaging those guards. I'm not sure who's going to win. Only 3 men left in that squad. Grenade's going to turn the engagement. They'll be forced to retreat. DP. I don't think he can even recover that. He needs to get another squad over there to get that DP in his possession. Try and weaken his opponent as much as he can. Try and steal those weapons. Stealing a PTRS is now pretty much just as valuable as stealing a DP machine gun, since the PTRS now has a similar damage profile to the BAR. Pretty much, you can pretty much equate it to picking up a slightly more random BAR. Fires less frequently and does a ton of damage. Whether or not it hits is a bit of a gamble.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector. Supply sector under attack. We have an isolated sector.
Tiger's doing a lot of damage to those infantry formations. It's a lot of manpower bleed, especially when he doesn't have any manpower in the bank, because he has fielded his second set of T-34s. They're getting boxed in hard. Map control falling back into the Oster's favor big time. Map was totally blue a second ago. Now these wounded squads are spreading out, getting the whole map under control, while the Tigers have the Soviets tied up here in the base. That Tiger's falling dangerously low, needs to blitz back to safety, but Blitz got nerfed hard. Look, that barely even moves any faster, honestly. I like that change, though. It's a good change. That is definitely not a free pass to get that Tiger to safety. Not at all. T-34 taking advantage of the road will easily close the distance on that Tiger, and Blitz doesn't last that long either. Gets a lucky penetration on the Tiger's frontal armor, and the Tiger will go down. T-34 is traded in exchange, though, and the Soviet player is reduced to only one T-34 with which to contend with this half-health Tiger, trying to keep the Soviet player boxed in here to the best of his ability. Tiger's buttoned. T-34 wants to make something happen, or no, not button, marked vehicle going down, and button, in fact, both vehicles. He wants to trade, he wants to make something happen here, he needs to take that thing out. He's getting so many lucky hits on the frontal armor of that Tiger. We might see it go down here if the T-34 would chase. T-34 moving up for one more shot. Shot misses. Tiger does not take a retaliatory shot. It is just trying to get back to safety, just trying to fully disengage. T-34 continues the chase. That shot bounced. Tiger has stopped moving. It doesn't really have anywhere else to go. And there it goes. He could have continued kiting further, but I mean, I don't think that T-34 would have had any real trouble closing the distance and finishing the job. Got a lot of lucky hits through the frontal armor of that Tiger. A lot of lucky hits. A couple shots missed, a couple shots bounced, but it was really just a matter of time. Tiger had fallen too low, and it was finally destroyed. He does have the munitions for one final Panzerfaust. I don't think this T-34 is going to get away either. I think all tanks are going to get cleared off the battlefield here unless it gets a really lucky hit from the main gun. If he can get in range, which on the road maybe he can't. He can't get in range. And that T-34 might get away. I don't know, AT gun's been crewed by Pios here. Pios have really long vision range. That vision range buff on the Pios. seals the deal, and the T-34 goes down. He's not going to try and save the AT gun. There's no way that's getting away. But all tanks have been destroyed. Every single tank has been wiped out. 2 Tigers, 4 T-34s, and the game is right back where it started with guards and conscripts versus LMG Grenadiers. Wow. And the victory point clock is actually quite even as well. Let's look at fuel. Fuel dead even. I honestly have no idea whose favor this game is in right now. Infantry armies of roughly the same size. They both have an AT gun in their possession. And territory is being traded on the right and left sides of the map. The Soviets kind of have the advantage here, making their way to take territory back.
Well done, comrades. The point is ours.
Rifle grenade over the hedge does some damage to those guards. They're going to probably be forced to retreat. This squad of conscripts also going to be forced to retreat. And PTRS shots just missed. This is exactly what I was talking about, by the way, with the PTRS being kind of a random weapon. If it connects, boom, 40 health gone. If both shots miss and then you're forced to retreat, you didn't really get any benefit out of the PTRS. So it's a little bit inconsistent as an anti-infantry weapon. But at least you can have some expectation of it doing something, whereas pre-patch it really wasn't particularly likely to hit infantry at all. Seems to hit infantry pretty consistently now, like not all the time, but more consistently than before. It's kind of more of a general purpose weapon this patch than it was before.
He's gone. Enemy fire! Fucking hell, they are killing us!
No, Cynthia, I actually had that set up specifically to embarrass you. I'm just kidding. Yes, it is, of course, to prevent spam. And also, you can post that link now. Reimer, my moderator, gave you a free pass. So please feel free to post your link. I insist. Nice rifle grenade right there. Man, you can see this Oster player has made great use of vision blockers throughout the whole course of the game to fire those rifle grenades over buildings, over hedges, to maximize the return on investment he gets out of those. I really like seeing the usage of rifle grenades from him in this game, especially on clumped infantry squads. A lot of those conscripts getting away with just a tiny sliver of health remaining and lots of manpower bleed. But no squad wipes. Not usually anyway, which is a good sign that there's always a chance for the player to react and preserve his squad, even though he couldn't dodge the grenade because he didn't hear it coming in time. He still gets out of there alive. So good usage of grenades there by LeeJaeDong, trying to inflict a lot of manpower bleed on his opponent.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Anti-tank gun moving up the left side, couple squads moving up the left side. That low health guard rifle squad's going to be in trouble. And as far as fuel income and territory management, it looks like LeeJaeDong is kind of taking the lead a little bit here. For manpower as well, he's already floating up for his next Tiger. It's looking like that Tiger's going to hit the field well before the T-34s do. Well before they do. He needs 740 manpower to field those. He's almost maybe over-invested in infantry here. Fielding fresh conscripts and guards, putting a big dent in his manpower bank, and yet not really able to win engagements for the map. He's not really succeeded in taking that much territory here. Fielding a fresh heavy mortar, recrewing a heavy mortar, probably not helping with his manpower prospects, and a lot of his squads are currently just in the base, reinforcing and healing, and as a result he's losing control of the whole map. Ooh, just lost a MG42 light machine gun too to his opponent. That's a shame. Let that go. He's trying to work the victory points more than anything else. It's quite obvious from the way he's harassing the map right now, trying to get that clock ticking a little more urgently against his opponent, but if you can't set up a triple cap, that's only worth so much. because the clock ticks very slowly. But of course, the fact that he's no longer triple capped is a benefit of its own. Ooh, look at that PTRS snipe! That squad was retreating with one man remaining, a little bit of health left, and bam! That PTRS just nailed him on the retreat. Full squad goes down. That's gotta feel good to see that happen, especially when you're this behind. He really needs those lucky breaks. Nice hit from that mortar too. Conscripts over here. Managed to snipe some piles there, PTRS. Twice. Yeah, that's definitely something that's gonna be happening a lot. PTRS is definitely, this is definitely the PTRS's patch. Probably the strongest it's ever been that I can think of. Probably gonna see a lot of guards and a lot of, probably not that much tank hunters, but a lot of guards. I think we're gonna see a lot of guards making a return this patch. They were used little for last patch. I think we're definitely gonna see them making a bit of a comeback though. Last patch was very much dominated by shock troops. I think shock troops and guards are probably both going to be hitting the field a lot, which is good, and we're going to see a bit of a diversification there of the Soviet loadouts. And of course the question is, how is the Axis going to respond to this this really powerful new PTRS? PTRS was kind of a joke before. It definitely seems quite viable now. Tiger firing there on these infantry on the right, and as predicted, the Tiger is the first to hit the field. Fuel has been massed for the second set of T-34s, but not manpower. Manpower is going to be a whole different ball game. Fortunately, PTRS has seemed to be doing a good job of turning infantry engagements back in his favor, plus DP machine guns, of course, on his guards. Winning at long range against Grenadiers has the tools he needs to actually win at long range against Oster, even in the late game. Really nice thing to see. Neither side really has a distinct advantage in infantry just because they happen to have picked a certain faction. It really comes down to who utilizes better tactics, who's got more infantry available for the engagement, who's utilizing positioning and cover more efficiently. And 37 minutes into the game, that's a beautiful thing to see. That's amazing. That both of these factions actually have the tools at their disposal that they need to win the game.
Your predecessor died a hero. The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Heavy mortar will be forced to retreat over here. Grenadiers catch it quite out of position. This squad of guards caught out of position as well, definitely outnumbered. Would be nice to see either of these sides field a team weapon, other than just infantry though. Machine gun perhaps. Soviet machine gun, unfortunately, not even that great against suppressing blobs. MG42, especially after being buffed, would be nice to see in the late game to try and manage these guard rifles though.
Taking what we have secured. We need to re-establish our supply lines.
Conscripts taking control of the right side victory point. These conscripts taking control of the munitions.
Man down! Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Grenadiers over here on the left side. A lot of damage to those guard rifles. They're going to be forced to retreat. I'm almost kind of surprised that we haven't seen a Stug E. In fact, we haven't seen any of these doctrinal features for the entire game at all. It makes me wonder why he chose Mechanized Assault and not, you know, Lightning War. Maybe something that has a little bit more off-map abilities or a little bit more utility. If the only feature he wanted out of Mechanized Assault was the Tiger. Makes it seem like an interesting choice, but it's also good to see him make more extensive use of his core abilities than his doctrinal abilities. Especially his usage of rifle grenades this game has been really quite effective. And finally, the second set of T-34s has arrived. You can see the effect that the Tiger has had once it hit the field. Map turning a little bit more red. Things going back in the Oster's favor. Now that those T-34s are on the field and we'll be able to help manage engagements. May not be the case. Conscripts kind of pulling ahead against these completely vanilla, fresh Grenadiers. Don't have even a single star of Vet against those Vet 3 conscripts. They're just getting annihilated even with their LMG upgrade. T-34 is going in on the Tiger with marked vehicle. If he gets a bunch of lucky frontal penetrations, he may lose this Tiger. He's trying to bring his AT guns to bear, but they're not positioned very well for this engagement. He needs to try and circle his own AT guns with a Tiger, and that's a bad position to be in. His Tiger just fired at the wrong tank, and there it is, at that range. Plus, I think this AT gun got a nice hit off on the Tiger too from here on the rear armor. And that Tiger goes down. One T-34 falls low, but due to some pretty poor positioning there by LeeJaeDong on his AT guns, this is a terrible place for that engagement to go down, and he will be forced to surrender. Good game. Allies win. Axis will surrender because of a nicely executed T-34-85 rush in conjunction with marked vehicle. He had guards available to support. He had an AT gun set up in the back to hit the Tiger's rear armor right there. And he was just caught out of position. That was really a nicely executed push. I'm really liking that we saw a lot of the patches changes in effect this game, in particular the changes to the guard rifles. I would certainly encourage LeeJaeDong to experiment a little with some changes of his own. He could have maybe fielded the scout car, and he could have maybe fielded the sniper to experiment a little bit with that if he's struggling with long-range upgraded infantry. Maybe the Oster sniper could have given him a little bit of breathing room. I don't know. Either way, saw some really great plays this game, so good game, and the Allies win.